What is good, Counter-Strike fans? Welcome back to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. We're going to be talking about ESL Pro League Season 22, Stage 2. Under 4 hours to go, so I just wanted to make this a quick video. But let's talk about Stage 1 real quick. And this is how I did it. Stage 1, top 30%, 10 points to my Fall Season 2025 standing. So just about getting there. Towson came in clutch for me. He was the best performer by far on my team. Decided to back the American teams or the NA teams, and unfortunately didn't pan out for me. Actually, they did quite poorly. They bombed out 0-3 and 1-3. Astralis got there in the end, and Stair did a good job for his prize. Device not so much. I think if I would have gone with the Norbert draft, I probably would have gotten the top 1% place. Probably, or maybe even without Nitro and going a little bit lower, and getting someone like Mobs instead of Device. Best players, I mean the hot two players were the best. Honestly, they did really well this event. Gamer Legion, Davi, Gravity, Casarado. So just kind of all over the place. A lot of the lower rated teams got through in a pretty quick fashion. So there's enough about that. But for this EPL Season 22 Stage 2, we do have a simulator. The teams weren't ranked by BRS or HLTV rankings. They were ranked by their fellow peers. So I believe Vitality got the first seed, and then Genomates got the 16th seed. So they faced each other in the first round. I also believe that Mongols got the second seed, and then Hot2 got the 15, and then Spirit third, and then Inner Circle 14, so on and so forth. But this is just like a really quick overview. For example, let's just take the higher seeds to win. So we take the higher seeds to win, then this is how the matches will take place. Spirit should be Inner Circle, Mouse should be Gamer Legion, Mongo should be Hot2, Falcon should be Astralis. This maybe might be a little bit closer than it appears, but I think Falcons have more than enough. Astralis look really poor on T side, and they got really lucky that they had to face a legacy team who has no bite anymore. All bark, no bite at this point. Vitality will be Genomates. This is a 50-50, honestly. Aurora versus Navi. Aurora did really good that tournament, and Navi won a tournament recently. Instead of playing Playground, they played a tournament and they won, so that's good. Furia, 3D Max, Furia should win, and then G2 FaZe. G2 should win, but FaZe could make it close with Twist now. Spirit should be Furia. Honestly, I wouldn't trust either of these teams, but I'm gonna go Falcons. Mongols G2, Mongols, Vitality Aurora, Vitality. I'm going 3D Max. After Maka came back, they did really well. Astralis, I think. FaZe, Navi. Spirit versus Mongols in the 2-0. Spirit with the 10-year upgrade. Falcons versus Vitality. Give me Vitality. Furia versus Astralis. Furia. Mouse versus 3D Max. Easy Mouse. G2 versus Navi. Easy Navi. G2, I mean. And then Aurora FaZe. Probably Aurora. Inner Circle was Hot2. Honestly, give me Hot2. Gamer Legion versus Genomates, Gamer Legion. Mongols, Aurora, and the 2-1. So we have 3-0. Probably Spirit and Vitality. Maybe Spirit and Falcons up there. Mongols should be another 3-1 team. Damn, the rematch Falcons versus G2. This is a pretty good one. Let's go Falcons. Furia versus Mouse. Or maybe G2. Furia versus Mouse. Give me Furia. Astralis, 3D Max Astralis, Navi Hot2, Navi, FaZe. Falcons versus FaZe, probably Falcons. Aurora versus Astralis, Aurora, and then Mouse probably. I mean, you can play with the simulator. This is what it came with just like a quick thinking: 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. But your favorites for 3-0 definitely have to be Spirit, Vitality, Mongols as the 3 favorites. And then first to go through overall that didn't go through in this first simulation that I did. Probably like FaZe, Navi, two big ones that could go through, and teams that could drop off from here probably like Aurora, Falcons, even Mouse or Furia. Like it's gonna be very tight, contested. But yeah, just play with the simulator, see what you think. But don't let it be the end all for your drafts as well. So let's take a look at the most picked players, and it's a very Spirit and Falcons heavy choices. So for example, Tanier's the most picked player with about 30%, or yeah, close to 30%. Alongside his Chopper and Donk, so they're up there, and then Kixan, Tess, and Nico for Falcons, and then Apex is Jakindar as well. So we can go over the players really quickly. For Mongols, the picks have to be Blitz at 204, and honestly, maybe Messinho. I saw this price at first. I'm like, Messinho higher than 910. There's no way, but Messinho has been better over the last month, over the last 3 months, and over the last 6 months against 910. So finally, he gets the pricing that he deserves. I would avoid maybe 910 out of boy, or actually maybe 910 probably. He hasn't been as consistent, but yeah, Mongols you probably have to pick only one, and it might have to be Blitz. For Vitality, Saiwu's not a bad price, but are we gonna get the Saiwu in playoffs, or are we gonna get a group stage Saiwu who just kind of takes a step back and lets the others pop off? The pick has to be Flamesy at 210. He has been back in form as of the previous event they played. I would probably avoid Messi at 209. For Mouse, again, who are you gonna pick here? Probably the boy is Brolin. He just hasn't been good, and 197 is way too high for him. I don't know why he keeps getting this silver pricing if he hasn't done anything for a while. The pick definitely has to be Torchy or even Sershin at those prices. I probably picked those two over Spinks and Jim Hat. For Spirit, they finally got Tanier. Sontex is out, and I think Tanier will actually have good ratings here. He's a great rifler, and he'll probably perform a lot better than Sontex. So I'm kind of scared to see what Spirit could do, especially with a strong core of Shiro, Tanier, and Donk. So Tanier is kind of like almost a must pick just to see what happens, and the possibility of them going 3-0 is pretty high. So Tanier's a choice, Shiro as well. I think Shiro might be better than Donk just because the pricing is a lot more forgiving. Sway is definitely a do not pick. For Furia, Jury is probably the not pick because you can get Jakindar for a lot cheaper, and he's probably my favorite choice here. If you want to double up, probably pick Jakindar alongside one of the golds, so Kasarada and Molodoi. They've both been pretty good, and they're both the carries of this team. For G2, honestly, all 5 are options, but I would say Mouse has been the worst out of the 5 for his price. But yes, he does have the best roll with the headshot machine, which triggers at an insane rate, like 79%, 5 booster points. So definitely you pay for at least a good roll. My favorite option has to be Matty S at 209. He has been consistently been the number 1 or 2 in this team. He has the highest upside. Some price is not bad at 201 either. And then Hunter as your cheapie is actually pretty solid. He's still fragging really well. For Falcons, another team that all 5 are options. However, I would say Monesi is probably the avoid here, just because he is not performing as he was in G2. Kixon's probably the number 1 option. He's 182 is way too cheap for him, especially because he's been putting up a 1 rating over the last few months. Pair him up with Tessis, Nico, or if you want to go a little bit differential, with Kyosuke. But I'd probably say Tessis and Nico. For Aurora, you have to go with Centaurus. I like Centaurus, and I like Woxic and Wicadia as well. Jota's an avoid at 199, especially because if you spend up a little bit more, you can get someone with like Woxic who has higher upside, and it's been better over the last few months. Major, again, I say probably a boy. He just never puts up a good rating. For Navi, all 5 are options as well. They performed really well in the Star Ladder event, I believe. They won the whole thing, basically flying through. They beat NIP in the finals. I think Bid is really cheap and wonderful as well. So those two would be my favorite options, but I don't mind Ime at less than 200,000. Alexi is fine at 180, but you know he's not gonna get you a lot of high ratings. For 3D Max, once Maka came back, they went 3-0. So could it be that Maka and 3D Max are back and Gravity is a great IGL? Who knows? But still, here I would choose probably Body. That's it. Astralis, 3-2, kind of poor from them. Device is kind of good price at 200,000 just because he did really poorly in the group stage, but he does have a high rating over a long period of time. So yeah, it could be a bounce back, and he's probably facing tougher opposition, so it's gonna be more reliant on him. I don't mind. Matches looked a little bit better. I'm not sure about his rating, but he looked a little bit better in the matches that I watched, but he's probably not that great. Yeah, the team is, I stress probably won't make it to the next stage, but Stipai is probably like a solid, and Steer as well. He's been really good. For FaZe Clan, Twist is back, Rain is out. The longest tenured FaZe player is gone, so definitely something interesting to see. I think this finally gives Jacob full entry roles. Twist will become more of a support and second entry, so that'll be interesting as well. And he's been putting up good ratings, and now he doesn't have to get carry like a Liquidton. He has actually has some firepower with Frozen. So we'll see if that helps Brokey at all. But I guess Twist is probably the first option, and then Brokey I would avoid Kerrigan and Jacob. Actually no, Kerrigan and only Kerrigan honestly. Jacob is fine, but you can get Brokey for a lot cheaper. But yeah, Twist and Brokey are the options here. For Gamer Legion, I'm telling you, go with Tossin every single time. Whenever you can, go with him. He's just the best value still, and he was their best performer in the group stage. So definitely go with him. Genomates, don't go here. Inner Circle, definitely not. And then Hatu is actually not the worst. Norbert did me dirty last event. Last event, and Misu did really well. So take a look into these two players if you want to just get a cheapie. But for my team, this is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the double up on Spirit with Tanier and Shiro. Double up on Falcons with Tessus and Kixen, and then bring it with Ema. I think this is pretty solid, honestly. Definitely going high on Spirit, just hoping that, they farm teams and they get to the 3-0 basically easily, and Shiro and Tanier are like up there with Donk in rating wise. Tessus and Kixen. Tessus been doing really well recently. He has a great role as well. And Kixen, great price. I think he's kind of like almost a must-have alongside Tanier in this event, just because of the great pricing. Ema's not bad at 196, but some changes I would make is maybe if I wanted to go more into Falcons, I would actually go with, but I can't afford Tossin, but I would go something like this maybe. If you wanted to go high, really a lot of money into Spirit and Falcons, and then just get Misu as like a, just grab him as a cheapy fodder. Some other options is just removing Shiro, getting Nico, Jakindar, and some Pius, and this will give you great rolls as well. Some Pius has Camper, Jakindar has Hesha Machine, I believe, or even Entry Fragger actually. Nico should be like multi-fragger, support, and headshot. So this is another strong team. I think those are probably the three teams I've been looking at, but I'm just gonna stick with this team. I think it's great value around. Ema should do fine, and I think there's not much to talk about. I mean, I want to post this video just so people can watch and take a look at the event, but yeah, good luck, have fun, and see you for the next time.